Okay, hello students, and now welcome to our lesson on negative indices. So today we're going to be looking at powers or indices and algebraic expressions. So the point of today's lesson is that you're going to be able to use index laws to simplify algebraic expressions with negative indices. So that means really just turn it into the positive form. So the key ideas for today is that a negative index can be used to write a fraction in index form. So for example, 1 over 4 is the same as saying 4 to the power of negative 1. Now the index laws also apply to expressions containing terms with negative indices. So the property, for example, of a to the power of negative 1 is just going to be equal to 1 over a. We can also just say a to the power of negative m equals 1 over a to the power of m. So we've got 4 more laws, index laws today, and they're to do with negative indices. So the first one is a to the power of negative 1 equals 1 over a. A to the power of negative m equals 1 over a to the power of m, and 1 over a to the power of negative m equals a to the power of m. What I want you to really note here, folks, is this and this. So that if we have a negative indice, we are going to be making fractions. So let's have a look at some worked examples. Now 2 to the power of negative 1, that's the same as saying 1 over 2 to the power of 1, which is the same as saying 1 over 2. Now, if we want to have a look at 7 to the power of 4, we want to simplify it by turning into a positive indice. 7 to the power of 4 equals 1 over 7 to the power of 4. Now, let's have a look at this first example. A to the power of negative 2 over b to the power of negative 5. You can see that they're just going to have to switch places. So this is now going to become b to the power of 5 over a to the power of 2. Let's have a look at the next example. We've got 5 to the power of 5, x to the power of 4, y to the power of negative 7. We're just going to rewrite that by putting 5x, 4, and then just that negative 7, that becomes a positive 7, so y 7. Now, when we're going to have a look at this one, we've got x to the power of negative 5, y to the power of 3. So to turn this into a positive indice, we use the fraction sign. So y to the power of 3 stays above the line, but x to the power of 5 goes behind the line or below the line. Let's have a look at the next one. Okay, we've got 6a7, b negative 2 to the power of negative 2. 3, that's meant to be a 3. 3c to the negative 4. So anything with a negative indice just swaps sides. But we should also just simplify by solving or cancelling through in the fractions. Now 6 divided by 3 is 2, so that's like saying 2 over 1. So I can just cancel that out. Okay, so we've now got 2a to the power of 7, now b to the power of negative 2, so that goes below the line. The 3, well, we did that before, and that c to the power of negative 4, well, that goes above the line now. We'll have a look at these 3 examples. 3 to the power of 5 times 3 to the power of negative 7. It's our same index laws. We keep the base, but when we times, we add the indices. So it's 5 plus negative 7. Well, that's going to be 3 to the power of negative 2. Now, the next one is our rule with dividing. So 2 to the power of 4 divided by 2 to the power of negative 3. Well, we keep the base, but when we divide with the same base, we just keep the base and take away. So it's 4 take negative 3. So that's going to be 2 to the power of 7. And then this is a combination of 2 of them, isn't it? So we're going to have 2 lines of working here. So first of all, we've got 5 to the power of negative 6 to the power of 2 times 5 to the power of 3. Well, I'm going to have to solve what's in the brackets first. And the rule is, when they're in brackets like that, we're going to have to multiply. So it's 5 negative 6 times 2 times 5 to the power of 3. Now, in my head, I'm going, well, negative 6 times 2 is negative 12. So it's negative 12, and I'm timesing, so I'm keeping the same base. I'm going to have to add the index, and then negative 12 plus 3 equals 5. Now that's to the negative 9. Okay. So just remember, when we simplify, we are just taking them from the negative index form to the positive index form. I'd like you to have a go at those mastery questions now, please, Year 9.